Hello, everyone. Let me just check my computer. It's on. Yay! All right. So, hello, everyone. It's Kathy Schmitt, the Backyard Stamper, and tonight is a sneak peek of the cards that I'll be making in on my card class on Saturday. So, if you're local to me in New Hampshire, I hope you can make it. Please let me know if you haven't already reserved your spot. And I have an option for to-go kits too that I'll talk about in a little bit. So let me flip the camera down. I have just a couple of housekeeping items and we'll get started. Okay, so these are the three cards we're going to make. So let's see here. Here we go. And before we get started, I just want to do a quick little housekeeping to remind you that it's bonus days through February 2nd, and that means with every $50 purchase before tax and shipping and after any rewards have been added, you can you will earn a $5 coupon that you can use in February. So I'm just checking my other device to make sure all is well. Okay, so don't miss out on that. This is great, and there's no limit to how many coupons you can get. And then you redeem them the month of February, so that's always fun. And then this is available with a $75 purchase, so you can get your hit 50 and get your $5 coupon, spend $25 more, and you can add this stamp set for $5. $5. And there's a sliding bar that goes across your shopping cart that will tell you how close you are to the 75. And then you have to click add to cart because they charge $5 for the product of the month. They can't just simply add it. So you have to say, yes, I do want it, and yes, I'll pay the $5. This stamp set, I've got it here in person, is fantastic. The fonts are beautiful. They're bigger than here too. And you've got outside and inside or outside and inside, whichever way you want to do it. It's this has been really good, and we're going to use that tonight. So let's go ahead and get started. And I will tell you at the end how you can earn this class for free. All right, so we're going to do this card here first. And oh, let me just tell you that on my blog, backyardstamper.com, there's a post about my card class for Saturday that I put out on January 20th. So we'll refer back to that in just a moment, but if you're looking for more details, then you want to go to my January 20th post on my website. Okay, let me check. Can you hear my fan? Debbie said my voice sounds a little funny. It looks like it's all working on my end, but let me see. Maybe my fan is picking up extra noise. Is that better? Okay. Let me do one more thing here because I forgot to plug my laptop in, and that means I will run out of power. So let me just let me put my cards back here so you have something to look at while I fiddle. Okay, so let's see here. There's my power cord. That might be why. Maybe it needs a little bit of power. There. Okay. Hey everyone, that sounds wonderful. Um, I'm happy to see everybody here. I'm sorry, I don't know how to fix it at this point. It looks like everything's okay on my end, but I can see like a yellow caution light, so I'll try not to yell into the microphone. Okay, so these are the cards we're going to make, and we're going to start with this one. This is a beautiful card inspired by my friend Debbie Frank. You can check out her YouTube channel at Frankly Stamping, and she did a class using this paper, Lovely Blossoms, and did a one sheet wonder with it. So it's check that out, Frankly Stamping. Okay, let's get started here. So I've got my pieces, and the card base is 8.5 by, or 5.5 by 8.5, scored at 4.25. And I'm going to fold that over and get out my supplies here. Okay. Next is this card takes two 4 by 5.25 pieces of basic white. This one is embossed with, you know, my favorite. Who can guess it? I use it a lot and I always say it's my favorite. That is exposed brick embossing folder. Oh, I have to say hi to my mom. Hi, Mom. I know you're watching. So this second piece is going to go inside. So we're going to put that right off to the side. So when I have an embossed piece, I like to use my liquid glue to adhere it. I think it holds a little bit better because it gets down into those nooks and crannies. So make sure my card's opening the right way. We are supposed to have a big snowstorm Sunday and Monday. We might get like a foot or more snow, which of course I love. And you know what? Don't do that because we have to put our ribbon on. Okay, I can't talk about the weather. All right. Ay, ay, ay. Whoops. Okay, let me get out my glue mat and set that there. Let me show you a tip that Debbie also, same Debbie, Debbie Frank from Frankly Stamping, showed me. So I love to tie bows. Love, love, love. But some people don't, and that's okay. This is a foolproof way to tie your bows. If you take a block, and this is block C, it's about 2.25 by 2, and tie your ribbon around it and tie a bow just like you're tying your shoes. I think what gets people kind of jammed up on their bows is you got to kind of do it in the air, and then if it's not tight, your bow's all loose. This one, it doesn't matter if it's tight or not, and I'll show you why. So you're just going to adjust it by keeping it on the spool. You save your ribbon. It's less wasteful. And then, uh, so now I have this beautiful bow that I'm going to slide right off of my block. Isn't that fun? And then I'm going to take I'm going to take just a little bit of tear tape onto my gluey back that I just had. All right, so by putting it down on the rubber mat here, my glue mat, it didn't stick to my table. So I'm just going to put a little piece of tear tape, stuck to my finger, there, on one side and the other side so that I can tie my ribbon around it. Okay, and I'll peel that off. And then I'm going to set that right back down here for a moment. Okay, so my ribbon ends seem to be flowing this way. And and my card, what I want to do is have my bow to the left. So I am looking at my ribbon and I'm going to only cut a little bit here. Or I'm going to make my cut here, like that, because then I have this little bit. Make sure what's my up and down piece. Okay, so I have my, I'm going to wrap it right around and it's going to stick where I put that tear and tape. And I'm going to bring the other side all the way across like so. And it's sticking on the other piece of tear and tape. And that is the magic of tying a knot, a bow. And again, that was from Debbie. And I said, I got to give that a try. And boy, I love it. So on Saturday, if you're coming to my class, you will get to try that little trick too. And maybe I won't have to tie everybody's bows. Not that I mind, I love tying bows. Okay, so then I went ahead and finished my gluing. And let me get the top on that. Okay, so now I have my card base. And then I have 3 pieces of this lovely Blossoms paper. This is beautiful 12 by 12 paper, and the florals in it are wonderful. There's Secret Sea and Old Olive and Petal Pink and white and cloud cover. Really, look at that stripe one. Isn't that great? And then they have these panels that you can cut out for different cards. And I'll show you some of the cards that I made following Debbie's class. So that's the lovely Blossoms. All right, and so I'm going to just position my paper around, and I'm going to make my little triangle so my top and bottom have about the same space. Bring it a little bit closer to the side here, something like that, and then slide this piece under. And like so. The only thing you got to try to do is get this top one to line up, and then the side one fits into the remaining space. So that's what my card's going to look like. So let me go ahead and add some glue. So I can slide these around easily. And even though I put that ribbon down, I didn't attach it here, so my pieces can just slide right under to go into place. Okay, so I've got my top to bottom, like so. And we'll put the last piece in. There, just like that. And it all lines up perfectly. So isn't that pretty? So easy too. These are 1 and 3/4 inch squares is what I did. Okay, and then I'm going to take a label, which, where'd my label go? Oh, there it is. And I'm going to stamp my happy anniversary. So the happy anniversary came from Layers of Beauty. My flower that I'm going to stamp on the inside came from Simply Beautiful, this one. And then the rest of my inside card came from the new stamp set, the product of the month, Sending Love. And I don't know what I did with that. I had it. I showed you guys and I set it down and now it's gone. Okay. So I need Secret Sea. Looking around, I see it. There it is. So this sending love from here. And isn't it neat that the happy anniversary from another stamp set, the font, it almost matches? So I thought that was great. So I'm going to go ahead and stamp my happy anniversary in Secret C right on my label. It came out good. Just grab me a scrubby. So I keep a little bin for the table of my stamp class. So all of my materials are right here in the bin. So that's why I'm taking the time to clean them off now, because then my bin can go right down to my craft room in the basement to be ready for Saturday. Sending love. Oh, that looks good too. I just love it when it stamps right the first time. Okay, and then just a little flour to give a little something something to the inside. Don't worry about the ink in there. It's going to happen, but as long as you don't mash your stamp, you won't pick that up. That was just me pushing a little too hard to ink up the stamp. Okay, this card is just about done. Just putting my things back so that my box is complete. This is going to get puffed up. Let me take this to the inside. If you ever have trouble getting your tape to start, roll it on the silicone mat. And it seems to work perfectly. Okay, go. I love Secret C. You know, when I first saw that, I said, wow, that is a dark color, but it's really, it's darker than our Night of Navy and more towards the blacker side versus Night of Navy is brighter. Let me just, I got that glue right here. Let me just take that off so I don't stick my cards in it. There. Okay, there we go. A clean stamping space is a happy, clean stamping space. And you can ask my mom how clean my stamping space is when she comes over. She laughs because I say, oh, let me move this out of your way and let me move that out of your way. Oh, let me pick this up off the chair. Let me pick this up off the floor. You know, it is what it is, right? I'm using the little ones because I want to straddle this ribbon. Dimensionals and ribbon, they don't get along very well. So I try not to stick my dimensionals on top of the ribbon. Check the comments here really quick. Oh, I see Susie and Anne and Debbie and Cindy. Wow, you guys, thank you for coming on. And I know my mom's watching. Hi, Mom. I posted on Facebook. My mom and dad just finished a puzzle that my daughter gave them for Christmas. And she lives in Maine, and it was a puzzle of the Acadia National Park. So they're ready for the next puzzle, which I'm sure is coming very soon. Okay, so I'm going to use these Charming Summer Faceted Dots. And I'm going to use the petal pink. And just put a couple. I'm going to do a big and a small here, and I'm going to put a big up here. There we go. And that card is done. Whoops, let me put my gems back in. Put my top on my glue and put my mini babies in their baggie. And my box will be ready to rock and roll. Okay, so this shape came from, I have the dies that were, what were they called? Labeled with love. So this product came as a die, a set of 3 dies, all the same, or a punch. So the punch is still current, but they retired the dies. But I had 2 sets of them, so that means I can make 10 labels at a time because I double stack them. So um, my paper, I mean, so that helps me get prepped for my class early or quickly. Okay, so we have that one. Let me show you the card that inspired mine. So this is mine, and this is the one that Debbie had on her blog. She has a different greeting than I did, but I did, and I folded it differently, but than this one. So what I took her inspiration, and all I did was change up I embossed the background and changed my paper a little bit and changed the stamp. And so on Debbie's Frankly Stamping, she did a 1 sheet wonder with this lovely blossoms. So she shows how to make all these cards from the 1 sheet that has those panels on it that I was talking about. This sheet here has, it's a whole 12 by 12 sheet. So there's 3 this size. So that one is this card and this card and this card. So these 3 came from the long panel. And then there's a middle panel of middle size ones. And that's where these 3 cards came from, these 3 patterns. And then there's some little block ones that came out like that. And so, and then I just used the back side of, here's one of the papers I used and the back side of this one to make, and my flower. So that's what I used to make mine. But the inspiration came from Debbie's 1 sheet wonder. All right, so let me move that aside. And I'm going to set it on the floor. I don't know about anybody tripping on it other than me, right? Okay. And my next card, this is a fun one. So this card here is my next card. So last week, if you tuned in, I did a sketch class using this sketch, and this is the card that I made. And so I used the same sketch for this and totally just changed the paper and the colors, and it's a whole different card. So and I don't know if you remember last week, I had did my Versamark and my blueberry bushel and then put the powder on, and I set it down to, because I had one already embossed, so I didn't have to run the heat embosser. Well, I found this 2 days later with the embossing powder, and it hadn't been heated yet. So I heated it up, and look, it's perfect. So the moral of the story is get the powder on, and then you can delay the actual heat embossing as long as nothing touches it and knocks the powder all over the place. Okay, so this paper here is Floral Charms. This is still available at my online store, and I don't think I have a sample of it with all the cards or all the papers in it, but this paper has got beautiful patterns in it, purples and pinks and blues and greens and the timid tiger. So, I mean, a little bit for everybody. And then the back is more muted. So, really pretty. So, this is timid tiger. And then I'm going to take a piece of Night of Navy. So, let me just show you really quickly. Remember how I said the Secret Sea and Night of Navy? See how this is much bluer and this is much blacker, but they both serve their purposes. So I'm going to go ahead and attach this right down. This piece here is 5.5 by 8.5, scored at 4.25, and then I burnished it. The Night of Navy piece is 5.25 by 4. Next, I have a piece that's 2 by 4 of the designer paper from Floral Charms. And I am going to just attach that. Like so. Then I have a piece of Timid Tiger and a piece of Basic White. So the only difference with my template is I did narrow this down a little bit. My other template, it was a little wider because I wanted to see a little more of this paper. So I brought it down as close as I could. I have a piece of Basic White for the inside and a scrap of Mossy Meadow. Let me grab my twine and everything like that and my dots. Okay, so I'm going to use this retired punch. It's called the leaf punch. It had the 2 leaves, which I will never get rid of this. This is an awesome leaf punch. So I need 2 of the Mossy Meadow. And the easiest way to do it is, yeah, I'm trying not, I don't need this top one, but I need as much of the bottom as I can. So I need 3 of these. 3 Mossy Meadows. So there's one. I'm going to slide it down. This is just a scrap of Mossy Meadow. I'll tell you the measurements in just a moment. And then my last piece. I'm just checking to see that I see cardstock. There's just a little missing right there on the tail or on the stem, and that'll be fine. So this scrap was 5.5 by 1.5. And that'll get you 3 of the leaves. And then for the orange, I need 2 of these. I'm going to just slide my punch in. Now to do that, you got to be really careful here. You know what? I'm not going to do that. I was going to do that to save some paper, but instead I'm going to take a scrap because I want to just go like this and get 2 of the little guys. And if I nicked into it, then I'd have a mess. All right, let me just shake out my bits and bobs. There we go. And whenever you punch, you always get some extra little bits, and that's okay. All right, so I've got all my pieces here. I got to do my stamping with Timid Tiger. And I am using the Happy Birthday from the With You in Mind stamp set. And tap, tap, tap. My son went to Syracuse, and orange and blue are the Syracuse colors, which is not what I inspired me. But as soon as I put the paper is what inspired, and as soon as I put the paper together, I said, "Oh ho, Syracuse is in the house." All right, so I have that one, and then I have To a Fabulous Friend for my inside piece, and that one came from the why can't I remember what the name of that new stamp, the product of the month? I'm going to attach this right to my forehead so I don't. It was Fabulous Saying. So that's the To a Fabulous Friend. I could have used this Happy Birthday, but I wanted the stacked one. Like so. And let's put this card together. So to apply my Stampin' Seal and layer that on the inside. This is 5 1/4 wide by 4 inches tall, which is my favorite layering piece. And then I'm going to take one of these leaves and one of these babies for the inside. So let me just grab my glue dots. Box here. And check. Let's see here. I just need like one on this leaf. Now, when something is this small, be careful when you go to pick it up that you don't just rip that leaf right off, because that will want to tear. And let's put a couple on this one. So I'm just getting it under it with my pokey tool. There. That, and I'm going to put that like so. My second glue dot, I think I left my second glue dot on the mount. Let me put that here. There, like that. And then I'm going to pick this one back up. And I see a little bit of the glue dot showing, so I'm just going to roll that under. And I'm going to tear it like that. And I'm going to tuck a baby glue dot there. So what I mean by baby is I'm just going to take it off and kind of squish it down a little bit more. Make it a little smaller and then attach. There. And that looked fun. And then my outside. So what do you guys think of the blue and orange? Is it too bright? Is it just right? And this paper is what puts it all together. I mean, I went with the colors in the paper. It's Timid Tiger with Night of Navy. And the Mossy Meadow leaves is also in the paper. So I need my dimensional. Cindy says she likes my tip on the bow. And Debbie says she likes the orange card. So this is a great template too. So if you need a printout for the measurements for this template, it's on my backyardstamper.com blog, and it's sketch number 3 from 2026. And you'll see some cards that I made with this exact same sketch. All right, so now I want to do two greens and then the orange. And I'm actually going to switch over to my glue. And I'm just going to hit a couple of my leaves. I don't want to glue everything down tightly. Okay. Actually going to move this one because I noticed I had a little nick in the leaf on that one. I mean, nature, right? That leaf looks perfect, but I mean, just like it would out in nature, but if I switch the leaves, then this one will cover up that little nick. There we go. Doesn't that look pretty? And then adding the orange. Oh, hi, Susie. Yes, Susie likes the colors too. All right. So, and there's just like that. Isn't that pretty? And then you finish it off with a double bow using my twine. Now, I'm not going to go around the block because that would use too much twine. So this is where you just take it off the spool, leave it on the spool, but roll some out, and I double it. And then I make my tiny bow, which I love to do. And oh, just barely made it. All right, this is my tail, so let me pull that back. And here's my other tail. I just barely made that one. Okay, there. A teeny tiny bow. I love it. And my ribbon scissors, so one of my tails is going to be a little on the short side, so we'll make the others a little on the short side, just like so. And then I'm going to use a glue dot. So what I like to do, I have my little glue dot box with my hedgehog that I made, and I just stand it up, and then I can just press down on the glue dot with my ribbon or my paper, whatever I need to be gluing, and then I just rolled that a little bit so that um, it sticks together. And there's that card. Let me add my bling. Even though you're not an orange fan, says Deb and Susie, you like the colors together, so that's great. All right, so I'm going to take my Timid Tiger little doodads here. And actually, I want to use my putty end. I find that a little easier to pick up my gems. And we'll do a small, a medium, and a big. There, just like that. Fun, fun. There's my card. Pretty good, huh? Looks just like the other one, except my tails were a little longer on that one. All right, so let me just put that here. I'm going to leave that out because I keep putting it away and then I need it again. And let me just put this back in my bin. And put that one on the floor and I'll show you my last one. Oh, I just wanted my cards to stay out so we can show them at the end. Okay. So I've got that. And I need this box here. Move my food dots. Thank you guys. I'm glad you really like it. All right, here is my last card. So I did not come up with this idea. I saw it online and I loved it. Now, I want you to know I spent a lot of time cutting. Each card takes 4 of the dies from Stitch Shapes, the middle one of the square, and then the second to the smallest on the white. So lots of time cutting, and then I had to cut the medium square. So, but that will make it easy for my class people when they get to class. So this is made with love paper. This is a 12 by 12 paper that is, you know, geared towards Valentine's Day, but it doesn't have to be. This is just real red, so you can use that for anything. You got some baby hearts. And this was a misprint by Stampin' Up. They actually sent me another package because this whole sheet had this on the end. It's like the run of paper. It got cut at the wrong spot. So they sent me a new package. This piece here has ombre coloring, so it changes Flirty Flamingo to Strawberry Slush to red. And then you got arrows. You got some Flirty Flamingo hearts. And this piece is really sweet. That's just a pretty in pink little flower page. I don't know if you can see that. There you go. The stripes here, this is perfect for even birthdays. And my XO, and I always think of Anne when I see XO, XO. And the last one are some red and flirty flamingo dots and some hearts. So there's versatility with this paper that doesn't have to be just Valentine's. So that is made with love. All right, let's get out my card. This is a Valentine's, but I'm going to show you how you can turn this into a birthday card. The inside says, sending lots of love your way to celebrate this special day. That can be an anniversary or birthday or Valentine's. So let's see what we can do to change this up a little. So this is Flirty Flamingo, and it's 8.5 by 5.5, scored and burnished at 4.25. I've got my piece of white for the inside. I've got 4 bubble bath squares, like so. 4 flirty flamingo squares go on top, like so. And then my 4 white squares, like so. And then on the bottom, I got a piece of bubble bath. This is 4 by 1 1/8, and this is 3 3/4 by 7/8. So layered like that. And then here's my piece. So I can just flip that over, and now I'm going to have a birthday card. And this is an embossed die cut heart from this Valentine Bear set. This is Valentine Kisses, and this is you know, kind of Valentine-y, obviously, but again, this simple saying right here means you can use it for birthdays or little babies too. So it's got the dies and the bears, and we're going to use that today. So I have all the bears on the block. So there's 3 different bears. Let me just move that aside. That's for my inside. And then there's 1 set of words. So I'm going to do my whites, my stamping first on all my white pieces. Scrap of white. Oh, I got it right here. I save all these little pieces when I'm cutting my white down. And so we'll have a couple of those there. All right, so now I've got my white, and I need my Flirty Flamingo pad. This is a color I don't use that often, so I'm very, very happy that there's paper that has it in there. So I'm going to stamp my bears. The Flirty Flamingo. No coloring on this one, which is good. Grab my scrap paper here. I had one right there. That way I don't have to change this other sheet. There we go. The other sheet is taped to my desk, so there it is. I'm like, I know I stamped it. Okay, so I've got my bigger bear, and I'm not stamping like way up into the square either. I'm just kind of keeping them, you know, more towards the center of the square, so the white shows around them. And then I've got my little sweetheart bear. Then I have my words here. Bear hugs and kisses. That'd be cute for a little baby too. This would be a cute little baby card. Like that. And then we'll do our little kissies. Kissy, kissy. That's so cute. Oh, all right. And then for my strip, I'm going to do happy birthday. Just like so. So at my class, the people will have the choice of doing happy birthday or happy Valentine's. And then if they can pick which side of the paper they want to use as well. And so this one, whoops, my stamp was coming off the block. Let me just check and see if that's straight. Yep. Okay, where's my white for the inside? Oh, that's a little crooked. Let's try the other side and we'll see which one we like better. There. All right. I will say Stampin' Up! Paper is, this is regular basic white, but even that doesn't show through when you, if you flip it over. So that's quality paper. All right. So now we're done our stamping and we can put our card together. These cards are going together really quickly. So now there's a couple tricks to this one and it's based on where to start. So I don't need that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put the first flirty flamingo down at the bottom. Push these up. So push these all over here. We'll do that. We'll make ourselves nice and neat. Okay, so like that. And I'm going to use liquid glue for this in case I got to wiggle them. So this is going to set me straight on the rest of the card. So I'm going to do the same margin on the bottom and the sides. It's about 1/8 of an inch. So I've got that one. Then I'm going to take my next bubble bath square and I'm going to go up the side and I'm going to line this side up with that piece there, leaving the same amount of margin, like so. Whoops, and then do this one, same thing. So same amount of margin, straight line here. This one can get slid up just a smidge. Yep, there we go. Okay. Then I'm going to come back down the other side. And that's how I got them right in the direction I needed them to go. Like that. Okay. And then I have this one. You guys are still there, right? You are. Oh, it looks like I'm frozen on the screen. Well, I'm going to keep going because it doesn't look frozen on my end. So I'm not sure if something happened. Let's see here. Oh, there it goes. Okay. Good, good. Now I'm going to do my next layer here. I don't think so, but there it goes. Can you hear me? I was talking kind of quietly. Let's see. I wonder why my audio is being persnickety tonight. Okay, so I've got that, and I've got this here. I'm almost done. So hopefully you guys can still hear me. It's like that show. Can you see me? Can you hear me? I don't know why it's acting up, but I'm going to just quickly try to get done. And I think I'm going to ask my IT person why my volume keeps dropping. So that might be something I need to do. All right, so I've got that, and we're going to put our bears on, and then this card will be done. So really, that is so strange. Does that help any? I just tried to turn it up a little bit. I don't know what I'm doing, so I don't want to mess up too much. Well, nobody can accuse me of yelling into the screen, right? Which is usually what, when I hear back on the replay, it always sounds like I'm shouting at everybody. Oh, that's better? Oh, well, that's all I needed to do then, was turn you guys up. There. Okay. Well, should have done that earlier, right? Okay, so I'm going to, sorry about that, you guys. Add the stripe here. There. So let's see here. And then my happy birthday is going to be popped up, but I want to just give it a little snip on the edges like this. You can use this concept with the squares and no coloring on a lot of different layouts. So Cindy says she likes the versatility of the card layout. And it's exactly right. Can you envision this with the cute little lambs? Oh my gosh. Oh, Debbie's pretty sick of me talking about my little Lucy the lamb, but she is awful cute. I'll have to see if I can find a picture for you guys. All right. And then that little strip of paper adds that little pop and gives you some options on what color ink you want to use and everything. So there. And then let me do my inside. I'm going to go ahead and tape this down. Like that. I hope that sound is better now. I got a little fuzzy on my card. I used a different trimmer and I got some fuzzies. It worked great cutting my designer paper, but not so good on the cardstock. And it wasn't my blade, it's just I used a different trimmer. All right, and then I have my little baby heart, which is a die cut from the dies here. It's in my box already. That's the only die we're using on this die set. We used a lot of the stamps though, so that's fun. Oh, good, you guys, thank you. Lucy the Lamb, yes, she was my buddy. I bet my mom remembers Lucy the Lamb and my mom and dad going to the fairs with my little baby. All right, so there's our happy birthday. And that's a different, same card, different paper, just flip the paper over in a different saying, and you've got this, a different versatile card. So let me bring my cards back in and show you. I'm going to leave both of those there because that shows you two different versions. That one, and where's the long right here? And that one. Okay, so I did say you can get this class for free. And the way, all my details will be on my blog, and I'm going to pin it on at the bottom of my YouTube. I'll pin my post. It's January 20th. But so my in-person card classes are $15 to make 3 cards. So 3 cards. I'll just move this one out for a minute. These 3 cards. And you have the option to make a second set for $5 more. So that's a good deal in person. And if anyone orders $40 or more at my class, then they get the card class for free. So that's for my in-person. And then the to-go class is if it's the same class, but it will be mailed right to you. If the to-go cards class costs $22.95, which includes the shipping, so it's essentially the same cost, and it will make 1 set of cards. I can't stamp any of the images per Stampin' Up policy, but the die cuts will be done for you. And then you'll refer back to this YouTube channel for how to make the cards. But this will be mailed to you for free with a qualifying order of $40 or more in my Stampin' Up store between now and January 25th. So my class is the 24th. So the deadline to order the to-go kit is the next day. And then those will go right out in the mail. So anybody that makes an online order, qualifying order means before tax and shipping and after any stamping rewards are applied. So you do have to look at your shopping basket if you're using rewards, because that reduces your amount of the product value. And don't forget, if you go to $50, you will get this class for free and a $5 coupon. So the deadline is for the to-go class is the 25th. My in-person classes, I have room in my afternoon class, just a couple spots left. My morning is full. So yeah, if you're local and you want to come out for a good time before the snow hits, then come on over. So let me come back and see you. So I hope you enjoyed the cards tonight. They are super versatile layouts that you can use with different DSPs. This card here, any DSP, you can just make your squares and tie coordinating ribbon and you've got a card. This one here is your squares. You can add any stamp to it, to the boxes, no coloring, which is awesome. And then this layout is perfect for lots of different cards. So very versatile, and I hope that you guys learned some good tips like that ribbon around the block tip. That was a good one. And yeah, if you can leave me a thumbs up and share my video, I would appreciate it very, very much. And I'll see you guys Sunday. It's my scrapbooking day. So at 10 o'clock Eastern time in the morning, I do an hour of scrapbooking. So come along, craft with me, work on whatever you're working on. And I kind of like just jibber jabber through it all. And then I'll be back. Monday night is for my paper pumpkin subscribers. I have a private Zoom class where we'll be putting together the January paper pumpkin kit with some alternatives. So if you are one of my paper pumpkin subscribers, obviously you will get the Zoom link, but my team is welcome if they are paper pumpkin subscribers as well. So let me know and I'll send you the invite. Otherwise, I'll see you next Thursday, right? Bye, everyone.